So if we could try on some level to picture the moment in which the Malachim are speaking to Abraham, and it appears as if Sarah is not present, but the Pasuk tells us that the Malachim say, Vayomer Shova Shubeilecha Ka'es Chaya, that they're going to come back next year, V'hinei vein l'Sarah Ishtecha, and Sarah, your wife, will have a son. And the Pasuk ends by saying, V'Sarah Shomas, Pesach Ha'ol V'hu Acharav. Sarah was not present in front of the Malachim, in front of Abraham, but she was in the entrance to the tent, and she was listening. The Sarah Shomas. And Pasuk later, the Torah tells us, Vatitzchak Sarah, Bekir Balim, where Sarah, she starts to laugh. Bekirba, inside, she chuckles. How many times do we experience something in life when someone tells us something, and it's almost as if we don't believe that it's possible, and we just chuckle internally. So she chuckled and she said, Acharei velosi haisali edna va'adoni zake. And he said, look at me. And Rashi explains this, says, look at me, look at my body physically. It's impossible. How am I'm gonna have a child? Va'adoni zake, and look at my husband, look how old he is. It was just, it was, she couldn't fathom what she was listening, what she was hearing. So Hashem then takes Sarah to task. But he does so by speaking to Avram. Vayomer Hashem el Avram. Hashem says to Avram, Lama zeh tzachaka Sarah lemor? Why is Sarah laughing? Ha'af umnam eled vani zakanti. When she was laughing, she said, how is it possible for me to give birth? Vani zakanti, and I'm old. And so Rashi right away points out and says, wait a second, something doesn't make sense here. Because Sarah didn't say those words. Sarah said, look at my body. I'm no longer menstruating. I'm no longer able to produce children because of my age. But she never said the words that I'm old. And yet HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Avraham that Sarah said that she's old. So Rashi says something very powerful. He says, Shina HaKosov mipnei HaShalom. That HaKadosh Baruch Hu changed the words of Sarah when repeated to Abraham for the purpose of shalom, for the purpose of peace. In other words, it's true. Sarah never said that she was old. She said that Abraham was old. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu was concerned that there would be possibility of some ill will between Abraham and Sarah if Abraham knew what Sarah actually said about him. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu made sure Mipnei HaShalom, he didn't tell Avraham exactly what Sarah said, and he changed it. That when she said that he was old, it's as if she meant that she was old. I think we see from here the power and the importance of our being careful about every word that comes out of our mouth, especially when it comes to our relationships, where words that sometimes may just come from the hip, sometimes when we're in disbelief or we chuckle at something, they have the power of being arrows and hurting someone who we really care about, and making that person feel as if we're mocking them, even though we may not have any intention to do so. Sarah was just simply in disbelief. She wasn't trying to hurt Abraham or make fun of Abraham. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu was concerned, how's Avraham going to take it? And it could have been that Avraham would have heard it, and maybe it wouldn't have bothered him. But nevertheless, if there was a suffix, if there was a doubt as to whether there was a possibility that Avraham would be hurt, Hashem said, shalom, shalom, shalom. We have to have peace. There needs to be peace in a relationship. And so often when couples have emotions that become so acute, and these emotions become very escalated, there are things that are said and words that are said that only a few minutes later we regret and weren't even necessary. And the lesson that we learn from our parsha, from HaKadosh Baruch Hu's actions, is that we have to be really careful. Even at those escalated moments, be careful with the words that we choose, lest we end up causing pain and regretting our actions. Wishing everyone a good Shabbos.